Hey guys, some of you might have heard a little bit about this already if you're on our Facebook page, if you follow us on Facebook, or if you keep up with what we're posting on Patreon. We posted something about this earlier in the week, so it's sort of an update on that. We sort of just solved our most recent YouTube problem, and shortly after that we received an email that was sort of almost like it was written by a Google person. It was all written in Google speak, just the same way that Google people write. But he was basically saying that he's from the Trust and Safety division of Patreon, and that there's a rule about for users, or a rule for people like us, that needs to be enforced. And it's about, what words did he use? He used the words giveaways. So concerning giveaways and concerning raffles, he said. So we don't do anything we call a raffle, but we do give stuff away. So he's got us there, and he said that due to the fact of an increasing number of frauds and cases of fraud, and also because of some state laws. Now we have to assume he's talking about American state laws. We're in Japan, and lots of you guys aren't in America, but we'll have to assume that because it's Patreon, he's talking about American state laws, that anything that could be considered a giveaway or a raffle can't be included as one of the benefits to patrons. So some of you guys already know we had our first tier of our Patreon page. First tier is $2 a month, and for that you get to see videos and photos that no one else sees. And then the next one was $5, and for $5 you get the videos and photos, but also you get a chance to win one of our giveaways every month. And then $10 a month you get 2 chances to win one of our giveaways every month. And then the $20 plus you get one of our signed copy of our How to Do Stuff in Japan book, plus 2 chances to win something at the end of every month randomly, you know. So apparently under some laws in some states in the US, that's considered to be gambling, so they're not allowed to have it apparently. So obviously we took a little bit of offense at the fraud comment. He wasn't saying we'd committed fraud, but he was saying some people had committed fraud. So our response to him was that it seemed like an unfair and lazy way to deal with that problem, because we've been doing giveaways every month for 27 months. We checked on this, right? Every month for 27 months we've been doing giveaways. We've sent stuff to 83 different people in that 27 months. We've sent stuff ourselves, we've sent stuff to 83 people, and our friends at Freedom Japanese Market have sent stuff to 25 people in that time. So all they had to do was contact our patrons and say, have you been sent anything by these guys? And 83 people would have said, yes, we have. And they'd know that we hadn't committed a fraud. So, you know, that's why we said to them we thought it was an unfair and lazy way to deal with that risk of fraud. Because no doubt there will be people out there committing fraud, but we don't want to pay the price for that because it's not us. So anybody seen any parallels between our recent YouTube experience and this? Anyway, so we really don't want any hassles with Patreon, so what we did straight away was those references to giveaways on our tiers, on our Patreon page. We removed them straight away, so that no longer mentions that. The signed copy of our book for the $20 a month plus people, the signed copy of our book can stay there because it's not a random giveaway. It's to everyone. It's a benefit that everyone in that $20 plus category gets. Everybody gets one, so we don't have to take that away. I haven't said we have to take it away. We assume we don't have to take it away, so we've left that there, and that's not going to change. So at the end of every month, we're still going to be sending a signed copy of the book to whoever's joined that tier. So we're trying to work out what to do next. So a couple of people have made suggestions already, and we're interested. Those of you who are patrons and on Patreon, we are interested in your comments about what you think we should do as far as rewards or benefits are concerned. It's difficult because the postage usually costs between $25 and $30. So that envelope of stuff that we send out, or box of stuff that we send out to people at the end of every month, the postage usually costs between $25 and $30 depending on where it's going, which country it's going to. So it's obviously really difficult to send a box of that stuff to everyone, because it's not going to add up, is it? I mean, the idea of the patronage is to keep the channel going. If we spend that money on sending people stuff, it then all becomes pointless, doesn't it, you know? So we're not really sure what to do. So we're guessing it might be possible that if we don't mention giveaways or benefits as being connected to Patreon, if we just don't mention that, and that there's no promise of that on our Patreon page, if we put no promises about giveaways on there, or no mention of giveaways or anything like that, that we imagine there's nothing to stop us just randomly sending stuff to random people. It's hard to imagine how any law in the United States might prevent us just randomly sending some stuff to some people. We're not promising to do that. We're not connecting the Patreon thing to the promise to do that. So if we just randomly, just us as some random people, decide to send some random Japanese stuff to some other random people, then it has nothing at all to do with Patreon, does it? We're guessing that's the case. So, but we're just really cautious, because we've been bitten over the years so many times by the likes of Google and the big guys like that, that we're just really cautious about what we do. So the purpose of this video was just to give you guys a heads up about what's going on. Oh yeah, just before going too, there is an option on Patreon for people who are supporting the channel. There is an option if you don't want us to send you something, and a few people already have that option where they don't want us to send them stuff. They're happy just to support the channel and they don't want us to send them stuff. There's a box you tick, and there's a bunch of people who've done that, and people have told us after they've signed up to, you know, look, don't bother sending us anything, we don't want anything, we just want to support the channel. So if you're one of those people, please check your settings, and if you don't want us to send you anything, please tick the box. We actually sent a package to that guy we showed you guys last month. We sent the guy some stuff in the US, and at great cost to the management, and it came back, and so we sent it to him again. We checked his address and sent it to him again, and it just came back again. So that's cost $50 to send it twice to the United States, and it's come back twice, and it's back in our pocket again, back in our house again after visiting the US twice. So if you don't want stuff, I'm not saying he doesn't want stuff, that was just a by the way sort of story, but if you don't want us to send you stuff, just tick that box, and then we're just going to try and work it out. We're really not sure yet. We figure we've got till the end of the month to work out what strategy we're going to use, what we can do. We just don't want to get in trouble with any big companies, because you can't win that game, can you? As we've found before. So we just want to sort of think about it and look at our different options. Those of you who are supporting us on Patreon, we're interested in your comments, what you think good benefits would be, and what's possible. Always interested in your feedback about what you think we should do with that. So yeah, that's where we are now. Oh yeah, so we sent the guy answered his email and said, you know, we think that it's unfair and lazy for you to, you know, punish our viewers, because we said our giveaways are really popular with a lot of our viewers and they really like them, and we really like them too. So punishing our YouTube viewers and our patrons, punishing our patrons and punishing us because some other people commit fraud seems to be an unfair and lazy way to deal with the problem. And then he wrote back and said, oh, I'm going to help you with this moving forward, and all the typical Google speak. And then he said that he didn't mention the fraud thing in the next email. He just said that, you know, even though he knows that often patrons and we are not in America, that they have to abide by, you know, they don't want to put anybody at risk of breaking any state laws in the US, and because of that they have to have this rule, which he probably should have said that, and we wrote back and said to him that you should just say that, you know, you shouldn't mention the fraud thing, because if they're trying to avoid breaking laws in the US, they should just say that, because the fraud thing's just offensive and sounds lazy. It sounds lazy. Instead of trying to catch which people are committing fraud, they're just, you know, blanketing everybody. That's not a really good explanation, is it? So, and then he went on to say, in his email, he went on to say, moving forward, there's a bit of Google speak, moving forward, you know, of course you can continue with your Patreon page as you were, or something like that. So in our answer to him, it was like, well, no, we can't. You know, no, we can't, because a central part of what we've been doing has been the giveaways. And even though a lot of people will continue to support us without the giveaways, we know that to some people that they're really important. So telling us that we can continue on as before is obviously nonsense. So in our answer to him, we said that's not correct, and that, you know, we're not arguing the point. It's their website. They can make the rules based on whatever laws in whatever American states they want to make the rules, but, you know, they should be careful what they say and try and keep it realistic, because a lot of that Google speak is just nonsense, of course. You know, telling us we can move forward just as before is obviously total nonsense, because a central part of our benefit scheme was the giveaways. You know, and you know, 83 giveaways from us in 27 months, and another 25 from the guys at Freedom Japanese Market, at a total cost, worked out the cost was a lot. It worked out to be a lot. So that's been a sort of a central thing for us. So bottom line is, okay, can't be helped. As the Japanese say, shogunai, which means it can't be helped. We just have to accept their rules, which is what we said in our last email. Look, we accept your rules. It's your website. You make the rules. But please don't try and tell us everything's just like it was, because it's not. If we can't do our giveaways. So moving forward, as the guy said, we figure, we're guessing, we're going to look into it a bit more, but we're guessing if we don't make any promises connected to Patreon at all, if we don't write on Patreon anything about giveaways at all, if we don't make any promises about sending anybody anything, except the books, you know, the books for everybody, $20 a month and above will get a signed copy of the book. That's a promise, and we've been doing that every month as well for everybody. We've been waiting, we do wait 2 months before we send the book, because a couple of people, speaking of fraud, a couple of people signed up for the $20 a month thing, got their book and then cancelled straight away. So they ripped us off, because the cost of the postage and the cost of the book is more than $20, of course. So, you know, they ripped us off. So we do wait 2 months before we send the book, just to make sure that, you know, the person's genuine and they're going to stay with us. So that's going to continue. And then, yeah, we're just going to see, we're going to listen to what you guys have to say, particularly the patrons, because you guys are the ones who are supporting the channel. So we're going to listen to what you guys have to say, and we will also look into it a bit further to see if we can just randomly just send people stuff. We wouldn't call it a Patreon giveaway, because we can't do a Patreon giveaway, but as just random people, we figure that we could possibly send random stuff to other random people without getting any penalties based on any random US state laws. So, yeah, anyway, it never ends, does it? Someone said that, someone on Patreon said it never ends, does it? You know, because we just solved, well, sort of solved the YouTube thing. Not really, but we sort of solved the YouTube thing, and then this came along. So it's like, it does feel like it never ends, you know? One big company after another with their nonsense. 27 months we've been doing the giveaways for, and then suddenly they pop up and say, oh no, you can't do that, you know, that's against the rules. It's like, well, where you been? Where have you been? They did check out our channel after we first set it up, the Patreon page. They check it out and make sure it's all within their rules, and they did that 27 months ago. So don't know why there's suddenly it's a problem now. Who knows? Who knows? We will never know the truth. But anyway, there it was. That's the update. So the next update about this will be at the end of the month, when we will do our book giveaway at the end of the month, and we'll update you then with whatever else we're going to be able to do as well. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.